In the previous video, we have taken a quick look at the first building block of JavaScript language, which is values. In this video, we will take a look at the second building block, expressions. So what are expressions? Expression is a bit of JavaScript code that produces a value. Or better way to say it, it's a bit of JavaScript code that evaluates to a value. Expressions can be simple values, combination of operators and values, and also expressions can contain other expressions. So to help us explore expressions, we will use a tool that is called REPL. REPL stands for Read Eval Print Loop. It's a special program that reads an input, evaluates it, prints out the result, and then waits for another input. Interesting fact that every modern browser is equipped with this tool. I will use Google Chrome. Hopefully you have that one too. You can of course use other browser like Safari or Mozilla, but if you can, please also try to use Google Chrome just so that we are on the same page. Here we have opened Google Chrome. The first thing I like to do when I want to use REPL in Google Chrome is that I like to go to an empty page. And then there is a special page called About :blank. And this is just an empty page. There is no website here. So, and now we will open the developer tools. You can find these three dots in the corner. When we press there, we can see more tools and then developer tools. Also, you can see here a shortcut that you can use to get there a bit faster. So we open them. The tool we're interested in is console, and console is also a REPL. Let's find out how to use it. We have said that expressions, they consist from values or combination of values and operators. Let's start from expressions consisting of simple values first. I will type, for example, some simple value, let's say 42. So 42, we know that from the previous video, we know that 42 is a number. It's also a primitive value. And if we hit enter, the REPL will bounce us back the evaluated result of that expression. We said that expression evaluates to a value. So when we type 42 as an expression, we got 42 back as a value. And let's try some other primitive value. Let's say we type true, and then we bounced back true. Let's try to type now non-primitive value, like object, and we have been bounced back a new object. For now, we can ignore what's inside here. We will go deeper when we start looking at the objects. But for now, we look only on expressions. Now we know that if an expression contains only simple value, that value is bounced back. Now we know that if an expression consists of a value, then it evaluates to the same value. Let's try now to use values with operators. One good example could be an addition operator. And we will use it like this. We type 1 plus 1. When we hit enter, it evaluates to 2, which makes sense from the mathematical standpoint of view at least. But now it's also an example when we type a combination of values and operators, our expression become a bit more complex and it been evaluated to some value that was not even a part of our expression. So in the previous video, when we talked about values, we mentioned that those values can be primitive values and non-primitive values, but also there are 7 types of primitive values and there are 2 types of non-primitive values. And now, thanks to expressions, we can also prove that by using a special operator called typeOf. When typeOf operator is followed by value will evaluate to a type of that value. So let's say we type 1 and we get a number. Do you remember any other types we have mentioned? what will be the type of value true, for example. We type of true, and we get back Boolean. We can also try type of, and then double quotation mark to open a string. Then we say hello, and then we close with a second double quotation mark, and we get that it's type string. Let's try an object. Type of object, and we got an object. Do you remember we said that arrays, they are just objects? Let's try type of array, and we got object. We can also try with a function. For that we need to write type of, and then we need to put brackets because function contains several symbols. I have tried it here before, so it could be written like this. For example, it's just an empty function that does nothing, but this whole expression then evaluates to a function. Just to wrap up a little bit, let's take a look at another expression, a bit more complex expression. Now, actually, we're going to take a look at one more time at several expressions, and we try to identify how many expressions we actually typed. So when we type 1, we got back 1. So how many expressions was here? It was only one expression. It was a simple value expression. If we type 1 plus 1, how many expressions here actually? Think about it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 expressions here. There is expression for value 1. There is another expression for another value 1. And then 1 plus 1 is the third expression here. What about final, the most hard example? 1 plus 1 times 3. How many expressions are here? There are 5 expressions. 1 expression for each number here, 1, 2, and 3. Then this is our 4th expression. And this whole thing again is also an expression. To summarize, in this video, we have learned that expressions, they are bits of JavaScript that evaluate to a value. They can consist of single values or combination of values and operators, and they can also contain other expressions. We also learned where you can find a REPL, which is read, evaluate, print, loop tool. So I really encourage you, since programming is, and actually learning any language is a very practical thing. You need to try to use things you have learned. So I truly encourage you to try to play around in your browser, try to create different expressions, see what happens, see what kind of errors maybe you encounter. Try all of those values we have shown in the previous video. Try to see what the type is. Maybe you will find yourself something extremely interesting. In the next video, we will talk about third and final building block of JavaScript, which is statements.